doing, man?
I am wonderful. Before we even get started, give Troy a round of applause. Round of applause for Mr. Penny Moon Romney. I love you, boy. So let's get it on. Let's get it on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, you're in a good space right now, brother. I feel your energy, I feel your vibe, man. Let me tell you something, I'm up here a little bit starstruck, you know what I'm saying? I've always been a fan. I've always, when I started doing comedy, you were one of the people I looked at as far as writing, from a writing perspective. Amazing. Start now, let's go back to Chicago. Childhood years, Austin High School, correct?
Yes, sir.
When did Robert Townsend know he had a talent to write the things that he writes and be the creator that he is?
So, it all started with that gentleman right there. So at 15, I was a part of XBAG, Experimental Black Actors Guild on 67th and Marquette. He directed me in my first show, and I'm a kid, and I'm trying to figure out my way. West side of Chicago, gangs on every corner, the Disciples, the Executioners, the Sinister Six, the Vice Lords. So, through that man, I found a light. That light took me to Lamont Zeno on the west side of Chicago, 26 and Pulaski. And I learned my manners there. When I was around people of color, writing, directing, producing, he ran the show. He was the general. And so everything we did, it was about quality, raising the bar. So when you see any of my movies, any of my television shows, it starts with quality as a kid. Because my first movie, I was an extra. I was an extra in Mahogany in the freezing with Billy D out there going, they say we're way behind in the polls, you know, and he was doing that, we were in the cold. And then my first movie was because of him. He was the casting director of Cooley High. And I had 2 lines of Cooley High with Glenn Turman and Lauren Tim. So it all started with him.
Great, one of the great.
Say, you know, so, hey, how was the panels? You know, what did Robert Townsend say? So and so and so and so. And it's not what they say, it's what's underneath it.
Come on.
So they can say, oh, you're going to be a Hollywood writer now, because you went to that thing. You ain't nobody.
Come on.
And it just goes in that ear. Oh, yeah, you still on welfare. Y'all still struggling. I see them shoes. And this is your friend.
Come on.
So early on, I knew to clean energy. To clean energy. Because can you be born? Can you write movies, direct movies? Hell yeah. Is this stuff hard? It's easy. I'm not going to lie, it's easy. And for this generation, it's easier. I didn't have a cell phone. I didn't have technology like you guys had. I had to shoot Hollywood Shuffle with 35mm film, and I was hustling hard. So there is nothing to stop you guys. The only thing that will stop this generation is fear.
Come on.
It's fear. Because a lot of you are sitting on great ideas, great thoughts, but you're afraid. Can I tell you a story that happened at the airport, and it messed me up. It messed me up. So I'm coming out here, and so let me explain how, because I've been in the game a long time. I'm always on time, and I come prepared. Like right now, you feel my energy. I wasn't sleeping. I was like, I need to get this young generation focused because we need more filmmakers, more writers, more directors, more. So I'm at the airport. And so I get there early. I get to the airport 2 hours early. Even though I fly first class, I get there early. And so I get, so I just gotta explain everything. So
that was a flex. That was a little flex. All you Southwest Airborne board tracks.
Shut up.
You'll get there one day.
Shut up. Let me finish. I'm left-handed. So I could never sit in the seat of the aisle because people bump me. So if I was in 3E and I needed to be in 2A or 3A. And so I get there early because I gotta get the seat. So when I get to the airport, the flight before my flight is delayed. And they're boarding and they're finally on it. I'm just there, just got my mask on, I'm just chilling. So this black woman is there. Young black woman, she had to be like 30 and she got 3 kids. One's a baby, one's this big, and there's this little beautiful boy. They look like they got Samoan in them or something. This little chubby boy with these chubby cheeks. And the flight is finally getting on, and this little boy goes, I can't go. I can't get on the plane. And the woman is like, the flight says, we're boarding now. We gotta go. We gotta let the seats go. I can't, mommy. I can't, mommy. And then the girl goes, come on. It'll be okay. You'll be okay. I can't go, mommy. We're closing the door. I can't go. I gotta go. Come on, you can go. Why are you doing this? I gotta go. And then the woman comes over and says, my mother's dying. And I was like, oh my God. And then the flight attendant, we gotta close the door. And there's like, we'll rebook you. So anyway, the part of Robert Townsend that was like, I should go over and talk to the little boy and offer him money. And I was about to offer him $500. I was gonna play Let's Make a Deal. Get on the plane. And then I said, stay out of it, because if anything happens on the plane, you know, I'll be on the news, you know. Robert Townsend gave the guy money and the little boy died in the plane. Cancel Robert Townsend. So, the end of it was the little boy is clutching the counter, the sister's grabbing the little boy, the mother's grabbing the little boy. He goes, I'm scared, I can't. We're closing the gate. They close the thing. And then the little boy goes, I'm sorry, mommy. I'm so sorry, mommy. I'm sorry, mommy. Mommy, I'm sorry. And she goes, we'll reschedule, but we can't find any seats for tomorrow. And you see the woman, tears coming down her eyes, and the little girl goes, you ruined everything, to the little boy. And then they just walked off. And when I thought about that, and coming here, that little boy is a lot of artists. A lot of artists. They're afraid to get on the plane. You go like, Robert, you know, I remember when I first got to LA, got to New York, and my boys they would come. I said, come visit me, man. Come out to New York, man. I'm doing theater, man. And they were like they were in prison. No, man, I don't know if I can get out there, man. I don't know what alley to run down, man. Real talk. And it is a mindset. It is a mindset. If you go like, well, Robert, you from Chicago, I was on welfare, my single parent household, struggling hard, y'all can't tell me nothing. Y'all can't say, well, you don't understand Robert Townsend. No. You can't tell me anything. But what I did was I shifted. We used to sing in church, my father's rich with houses and land, child of the king. And when I was little singing that song, I believed it. I believed it. I was like, one day I'm gonna have everything. I'm gonna drive my cars and my houses and everything. And it became true. So part of the dance, you know, for everybody in this room, because I want to have the real conversation. I don't want you to waste your money. I don't want you to show up and say, well, I went to the thing. I want your life to be changed today. I set an intention. I want lives changed today. I want people to live in their destiny as artists and go to their highest selves. Are you with me? Yeah. So that little kid reminded me of different artists that I know that are so talented, but they just won't get on. You know what's interesting about children is that they're really honest. They'll say, I don't like you. You hurt my feelings. You're not my friend. And we get away from that as adults because we're trying to protect ourselves. Yeah. You say slick shit to me and I will just keep it together. Yeah. You know, as opposed to like, what's that about? Right. Okay. You know, is that how you see my career? Yeah. It's like, oh, okay, I got it. Because either you hang on to it and you surround them and you're that little boy walking away, you don't get on the plane because it's okay, or you let it go. And you go like, all of you can be born if you choose to be born. I was born with Hollywood Shuffle, a film shot in 12 days with a credit card. 12 of the hardest days of my life. I had to do it because I was dying. Because I was auditioning for all the stereotypical roles, pimps, slaves, butlers. I auditioned for more jive, suckers, and all of that. And rather than complain, I decided to do something about it and make a film. That's when I decided to get on the plane. Yeah. And everything, you know, like I said, my faith is very strong, and it was like, I'm getting on the plane. And I have never looked back. So for some of you, you're sitting on the runway, and you know what I'm talking about. And, and you've been on the runway for years. So, I mean, continue, sir, I'm sorry.
No, so, let's talk about SNL. Like, you made a run at SNL, Saturday Night Live, and it was down to you and a certain...
And Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, and Eddie Murphy ended up getting rolled up full circle coming around, you direct Eddie Murphy Raw. How did that work out? How did that pan out?
So here's a funny story about Eddie Murphy Raw. So if you've seen Hollywood Shuffle, there's a
one of the best comedy specials ever.
So when Keenan and I were writing Hollywood Shuffle, we were writing about our lives in Hollywood, all the auditions we went on. He and his entourage. He shows up, it's a Burbank photo chem screening room. He shows up with 15 people. And he's watching the movie, and he's loving the movie, and it's laughing and laughing and laughing. And then it gets to the part where the woman says, what we're looking for is an Eddie Murphy type. And then the whole room gets quiet. And then I hear Eddie's bodyguard, Eddie, they said your name, man. What is this bullshit, Eddie? What is this bullshit? And Keenan's head goes down, and I'm like, oh. And then the room is dead, the room is quiet. And then I hear Eddie laugh. Oh, Rob, that's fucked up. Oh, Rob, why y'all do me like that? Why y'all do me like that, Rob? And then after the screening was over with, he was in the screening room sitting there by himself. And I went in and I apologized. I just went up, I gotta apologize. I said, hey man, if you were offended by that scene or anything, Keenan didn't want to put it in there. I wrote the scene. And he was like, no, man, that was funny. That was really funny, man. You took courage to tell this story, to do this, man. He says, look, I'm about to do this concert film, and I'm looking for a director. You want to direct it?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Wow. True story. Jumped on the plane. You got on the plane. So with that being said, courage. Let's stay on that line, courage. Because today, you know, nowadays as a stand-up comic, some of us have to tread lightly. We don't have the money that Dave Chappelle has to be able to say whatever you want to say and still continue to work. I mean, seriously, like Dave really was looking for error then.
No, but still, no. They've been canceling people for years. It didn't just start now. Like they're canceling now. It's called being blacklisted. That part, because now they say cancel, but it's like same thing. So.
But I feel like if you say hoes got to eat too now, like hoes will get together and try to cancel. When back then hoes like,
you have a point there. I might have been canceled by some hoes. Down with Robert Townsend, I'm a hoe. I want to eat too, man. No. I mean, real talk. Let me say this. Real talk. You got to be true to you. At the end of the day, if you go, hey, Dave Chappelle walks a dangerous line, and that's where he lives. Richard Pryor walked a dangerous line. So there's certain people that are just built for that. If that's not everybody's calling. That's Dave's calling. So don't try to be Dave if it's not really in you. It's not like Dave goes, oops, it slipped out. Dave goes, I'm going into the lion den in a pork chop soup. So that's the artist. So young comedians, if they've really got the voice, nothing's going to stop them. Yeah. But if they don't have the voice and they're like, I wish I could say some things, but I don't know, then it's not for you.
Yeah.
So you're saying if you write it and you doubt it, you shouldn't do it. If you write it and be like, I don't give a damn, I'm finna go do it.
Well, the thing is that at the end of the day, why are you writing it, and what is it that you're trying to write, and what are you trying to say? See, I study writing. I study it. I'm like a mad scientist. It's like at the end of the day, what are you trying to say about love? What are you trying to say about politics? What are you trying to say about relationship?
Come on.
It's not just like, give me a joke. I look at stuff with structure. Like with everything I've created, I try to wire it and design it in such a way that you have to watch it again. What a lot of creators don't do is that they don't design it for, I call it the audience soundtrack. When Eddie King says, gang, you're gonna go, ah! When Big Red says 5, 9 to 5, there's a certain sound. When he kisses Cookie and she does this, there's a certain energy that's gonna happen. All of that is wired into it as I'm creating. So I think you know, you've got to know as a writer, as a director, what are you saying and which audience? Like, you're a comedian. When I was a comedian, I go, this joke is going to speak to everybody. This joke is going to speak to brothers. This joke is going to speak to women, you know? And so you know who's in the room and who you can, you know, so as I write a movie, I'm like, this is universal. You know, I try to get to, you know, like all my stuff, I try to make it as funny as possible. I try to work on the setup and the punch, and I get in there. But it's kind of like, for young comedians, what is your real voice? Because a lot of guys are afraid. So they're not being true to themselves. They can be funnier. You know guys that are funnier off stage.
Yes.
And it's like, this guy's
why you don't do that on stage, bro?
No, man. And it's like, hey, you ever go to the store?
Yes. Yeah, that's like that noise guy. I mean, I know several guys that off stage, I'm like, dude, you gone if you do this on stage.
As a director, what I'm looking for, when you come into the room, I want you to be yourself. Yeah. I want you to give me you, like you have the job. Don't come in like, wait, would you want it like this? You want it like this? No, own the character. Yeah. Own the character. She owned it and she got it. But I just want to say that because a lot of times she almost psyched herself out because she saw everybody on television and she thought they're not in the running. And it's like, no. So let's go.
As a director, as somebody that looks for talent, that's like your job to have an eye for talent. Is there a way to do too much on audition? Like, you know, like how you just said, come in and own it and seize it. Is there any time you've been sitting somewhere and you have this trick?
No. I love when actors take chances. I love when actors try things. Because certain actors will be very safe, and then I won't see anything. Oh, you know, it's kind of like when actors have worked on it. Let me explain how I direct. You know, when I direct, my directing style is like this. That's it. Yeah. Wow. If I've cast the right actor, that's all I do. Yeah. If I've cast wrong, then it's like. If I cast right, I just go in and go like, cut, we got it. Yeah. Perfect. Cool. Yeah. That's it. Now, I have laser focused eyes though. When I am casting, my eyes go in. I look into your soul because I'm about to spend $50 to $100 to $250,000 on you. And so the eyes are like this. And I ask real questions. And it's like a lion in a cage. I'm like, here. Because this is big. And it's for all my directors here. Don't make it easy on yourself. When you've written a script, you know, my kids ain't gonna do the part. No, bring somebody else in. Hear your words. Hear your words. Hear your words. Go the extra. So let me say this about being born in this game. Go the extra mile. It's about going the extra mile. Every time I've created anything, I will go, like tomorrow you'll see 10,000 people. It was like, I went through it, I was at the Regal here, I saw 5,000 people in New York, in Los Angeles, and because I wanted the film to be a classic, and I wouldn't settle. So for my young directors here, try to meet as many people as possible. And if somebody goes like, I can't find the actors, did you go to the acting workshops? Did you go to Second City? Did you go to, where are the places, did you go to the community theaters and just say, hey, you don't know me? And here's the thing, there is no shame in the game. Everybody has to be born at some time. Learn how to pitch yourself and work your mouth. Hi, I'm a new filmmaker. Hi, I've never done anything, but I want to work with you. I'm going to be big one day. If you work with me, I don't have any money right now. I just need to do a table read. I have no money, please. You know, so-and-so, work with me. Work with me and I'll work with you. What I learned about doing Hollywood Shuffle, because I didn't have money, and this is something that I learned from Mr. Rami over here, there's a thing called barter. So I would say, like, we shot the scene sneaking in the movies. I couldn't pay for the theater, and I said, I will mop the floors of this theater for 2 weeks if you let me have it. They go, bet. The theater where we shot, you know, Tommy and all of that was Nick's theater, the Ebony Showcase Theater, and I said there was his back parking lot had refrigerators and stuff. And I said, me and my boys will remove the refrigerators. And he said, I'll give it to you for free. So I learned early on, it's really not about money. Like right now, if somebody says, hey, I want you to fund my project, and I say, here's a check, you wouldn't know what to do with the check. You'd have to call a bunch of people. You can say, like, and I say, are they qualified? You know, because it's like, well, it's my cousin. No, 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 no. What have they shot before? What have they done before? I don't want to lose the money. But I think part of the game right now for you guys is just doing your homework. All of this is possible. You know, I mean, like I said, I've lived in, you know, I've been doing this for almost 40 years now. Almost 40 years, and I love it. You can feel my passion. I love this. Yes. I'm here today because I want you guys to win. Yes. Yes. I want you to win. I want you to win. I want you to win. What it is that, like right now, a lot of you are here, and then a lot of you are not here. You're thinking about money problems, you're thinking about relationships, you're thinking about family, somebody's sick, somebody da-da-da-da. You know, you're holding on to a dream and you don't know if the dream is going to happen. Maybe you think you're too old. Maybe you think, you know, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And so there's all these thoughts always racing in our brain. And so sometimes I stop the world. I go, stop. How you feel, Rob? You good? You happy? How you feel? How you feel? You okay? What do you want? What do you really want? What makes you happy? What do you want? And sometimes you got to stop the world because everybody's working like this, and social media, and television, and Donald Trump, and da-da-da, 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 da-da-da. And then sometimes you got to unplug and just go, ah! 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 Settle. 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 Okay, God, what am I supposed to do? Mm-hmm. Talk to me. Whisper in my ear. Tell me. No phones, no internet, no nothing. Just talk to me. There was a movie that I saw called Wings of Desire. And there's a scene in this movie. It's about these angels. And these angels, they are walking amongst people like right now, walking amongst you. Like right now, there's angels all in this room. So there's a scene in the movie where there's a little kid on a balcony of this building, and the kid is on the balcony, and he's playing with a ball. And the kid is this little, and the balcony rail is this high. And the mother's ironing, and the father's sitting there watching a baseball game on the thing. And so the angels walk around and they look at everything in the house. So the mother's ironing, the little kid's with the ball, and the rail is like up this on the little kid's head. So then the angel's watching, and the angel's like, something's going to happen. Something is going to happen. And so the little kid gets on top of the ball, and now the kid is like this. And then the kid looks down, and then the kid goes, and so the angel is like, oh my God, I can't let this happen. Oh my God, I can't let this happen. God, make me human now. And then all of a sudden he goes, oh, and the baby is falling, 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 and he goes, shout. And he catches the baby. So then he lets the baby go, but now he's mortal. So he starts walking around, and he goes, all these sounds. And so then the angel says the coldest line in the movie. It's like, Heavenly Father, I see the problem down here. There's so much noise, they can't hear you.
That's strong. What was the name again? Robert Townsend is. What's Robert Townsend in the future?
You know, as an artist, we're constantly evolving. And so it's not was, is, It's just to stay on the path. It's like to everybody here, young artists, it's like you're on your way. And so it doesn't, I'll tell you one last story. I gotta tell you this one last story. This is for everybody in the room. So when I lived in New York, there were good times and there were bad times. And so I'm gonna tell you about one of the worst times. I was doing extra work. I was in the Warriors, I was in all these movies, and I ran out of money. And all my boys, we were all going through it because we did temp jobs. I was a bank teller. I sold tickets for the New York Cosmos. And so we all hit a wall. We used to go to Actors Equity Lounge on 45th and Broadway, and that's where me and all my boys would meet. And they would have a board with all the auditions on it. And one of my boys was really going through it. He hit a wall. I hit a wall, he hit a wall really hard. And he came in, he didn't look good. And, you know, I was like, hey man, what's up? You know, and he was like, oh man, I ain't booking nothing, man. I know it's about the craft, man, but I ain't booking nothing, Rob, nothing. I said, you need a few dollars? And he was like, nah, man, I can't take your money. I can't take your money, Rob, you know. I know anything on the board? I said, well, they're doing an all-black version of Fiddler on the Roof. That's about it. But nothing's really going on. Yeah, man, let me go to the unemployment office. Yeah, I just gotta figure some shit out, man. I just gotta, cause my money's tight. Hey man, if you need, no, Rob, I can't take my money from y'all. I'll see you later. Keep your head up, man. Keep your head up. Remember who you are. You Denzel Washington. Word? I don't think you're gonna make it. True story, true story. So here's the day that changed my life. So here's the day that changed my life. I called my mother and I said, Ma, you know, I'm having all these bad auditions. Money is funny. Maybe I should come home. Maybe I should go back to Chicago. Maybe I don't have it. Maybe this is not for me. And my mother said, did you pray on it? And I said, Ma, she says, go to church this Sunday. Go to church this Sunday. And just pray on it. So that Sunday, I went to Lincoln Center, Dr. Eric Butterworth, this old white dude who was more of a teacher than he was a minister. And he gave this sermon that changed my life. And he was like this old, you know, words. Watch your words. Words are very powerful. If you say it's going to be a bad day, it's going to be a bad day. If you say they don't want you for the part, they don't want you for the part. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Change your words, change your life. Change your words, change your life. Change happens in a second. I left out of that on fire. I said to myself for the first time, I'm going to turn my life around. I am going to turn my life around. I'm going to turn my life around. And the phone rang. It was my agent calling on a Sunday. He goes, Robert, we got an audition for you to be an extra in a Pepsi commercial. They just want to see what you look like on camera. It's at Fordham University tomorrow. Can you go? Yes. I looked in the mirror and I said, I'm going to turn my life around. I'm going to turn my life around. That Sunday, I did something I'd never done before. I watched television looking for nothing but Pepsi commercials. Pepsi, red, white, and blue, Pepsi generation. I had a jar with pennies in it. I went to the next day, I got all those pennies. I went to a sporting goods store. I bought a red, white, and blue headband. I went to the audition, they brought us in 15 at a time. The casting director was this hippie chick, and she was like, look, this is a commercial for Pepsi. It's just a crowd watching a Frisbee game, and I just need to see what you look like on camera, your smiles. Smiles, have fun, have fun, have fun. And I decided to have fun. She says, watch the Frisbee. When I say the Frisbee's over here, look over here. And when I say the Frisbee's over here, look over here. When she said the Frisbee was over here, I looked over here. And when she said the Frisbee was over here, I looked over here. When I get home, my agent calls. Robert, you got the job, but the director wants to make sure you know where the Frisbee is. It gets better. I get to Fordham University, there are 100 of us, and I am the tall brother on the back row. They got me on the back row. And I decided to have more fun. And so the guys are playing the Frisbee, and I'm giving them names. Oh, come on, Larry, Michael, catch it, dude, you can do better. Come on, Michael, catch it. Cut. All the other extras started laughing at me. They were like, dude, we're extras. Nobody's watching us, we're extras. We're freaking extras, this guy's an idiot. I took it and I said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna just have fun and I'm just gonna play. So I walked to the other end of the side and I continued to do it again. Action. This time I worked the can, how to open the can. And smile. Then I hear, cut. The guy with the red, white, and blue headband, move to the 4th row. I moved to the 4th row. This time I practiced my smile. And action. Cut. The guy in the red, white, and blue headband moved to the 2nd row. See ya. It happened again. I get home, there's 6 messages from my agent. And then he calls. Robert, what did you do? Robert, what did you do? What did you do? I was being funny. I was just being silly. Well, whatever you did, do it again. They just made you a principal in this commercial. They're going to do a 30-second spot, a 60-second spot, a 15-second spot, and it's going to play in Europe.
Oh my God.
I made close to $50,000 off that one commercial. In that moment, I learned the lesson of going the extra mile. So I just want to say to everybody here, you've been dealt a hand. Play your hand.
Come on.
Go the extra mile. You can't win.
What are we doing today, class? You know,